Hello and welcome to Geek at Play Studio tutorials. In this tutorials, we'll look on procedural terrain. They're located on your left side. You can create it from accessing from menu or just click on an icon. And one thing you notice, if you left click, it will create it pre-default one single terrain procedural. Or if you right click and hold, you will notice right here pop up menu like an arrow. So let's click it. And now you open the different set of the terrains. One is which infinity terrains, and we'll look on those in our next tutorials. And also you'll have some collection of yours or purchase already pre-default the terrains that you can reuse. So let's close this one and just create a default procedural terrain. Now let's go edit, and edit you can access by right click and go to edit objects, or you can go inside the object and select edit or press Ctrl E while your object is selected. It will bring you to edit menu. You will notice right here we have it a little bit different. Almost everything looks same except we have it some options gray out for us. And also we have two additional tabs. One is procedural, which is showing our function what apply to the terrains, and we'll look at those functions very closely in our next tutorials. And also we have zones. So let's first look on what we have disabled on our left side. The zero edges button is now toggled. So and you can notice we can apply to the terrain to view without edges, or it will create those smooth edges. This is a little bit different in standard terrain. In standard terrain, if you click, it will smooth out edges. Right here, instead, it just toggle between smoothing on edges or have it non-smooth edges. Next, we also learner and the picture option is disabled, so we cannot load it right now in the procedures. However, we can still do this through the functions, so the options still be available there. Same as a lunar effect, the craters, you can still effect by using the craters inside your effect tab. Okay, options is disabled, so we don't have access to the seed or other ones, and mostly because all this settings can be easy changed through our function editor, which provide much more flexibility for us. Okay, as well, you can notice right here we have it our material still be, so we can painting together. We have it our sculpting tools 3D, but we do disable the export terrain at this point. Okay, so let's go ahead right now and go in a zone tab. Okay, so let's now look in the zones. And what's happening when you work with the zones? You have a terrain, and maybe at one point you want to concentrate and work just on one small area. And this is what's introducing and create the zones. So you can actually select one area and just work on this without affecting. And this is very useful because when you start working with 3D tools, you start subdividing. By using zones, you can work just on one small area, and this will reduce dramatically of usage your computer resources. By creating, you just need click add button. Now we switch to our top view. Let's select one small area of terrain, and there you go. You notice now we have this terrain available for us. The list of terrains will display in your menus. If you just click on that, you can rename it. So whatever you like it, that is will help you to organize. As well, you can add additional and you can overlap them if you want it. You can create inside. It's up to so you can create multiple, and up to you how you like it to access your terrains to smaller areas. Okay, also a couple things when you in a zone mode, you will notice in your paint tools, your 2D tools and effects is disabled, and due to the some subdivisions will happen. So and this kind of little limitation, but you still have it, your brushes and other stuff available for you. As well, when you're in a zones, you notice you don't have it anymore, your effects, global effects available for you as a tab. Okay, let's go inside the zones. Also, you have it fading. What fading does when it's activated, okay, let me go to entire zone. Okay, we'll activate fading. This will help you to, because you work on a small zone and sometimes it can look totally different because you affect your 3D. Will help you to blend inside your all terrain, so you can set what size you want it for the blending areas. Also type of the blending, one linear, cosinus, sinus, and Gaussian. It's Gaussian will give you effect, probably more smoother, more blending with the blurring, but the problem is this will take a little bit longer time. So linear, which set by default, one of the better performing. Okay, so let's go and check this one as well. If you don't work with yours or you don't need them anymore, you can delete it zones. Okay, let's now uncheck view zones, and we'll go now to our procedural tab. Right here, you notice we have it preview or our function. We also have it mapping mode, and also we have a different type of the force extrusions or the shadowing, and we'll look on them. So let's look right now in our function. You can access by left click and go edit function, or if you just double time click, it will open for you presets that you can apply directly from already pre-created, pre-made, or if you create before from save or some functions. So let's go ahead and select maybe ln spike, and you can notice when we apply it is applied to our terrain when we preload it. If you left click or right click and click edit function, you open your function editor, and inside the function editor you can access to your modify your function, and we'll look on this one a little bit closer. But couple things, you have a lot of parameters here. Nice things about Vue, if you notice, right here we have a terrain. Every time when you modify, your terrain will be live modifying as well. So this is kind of nice how the application and all screen updating, it will provide you more precision tools so you can see when you modify, make teeny tiny small changes, how it will also affecting your terrain screen. So if you have a multiple screen, you can drag your windows in different screen and positioning. Currently, it's a little bit harder in this tutorial because we kind of constrain a little bit ourselves to smaller screen. So we kind of need to drag for this. But you can reorganize your workstation in the way you like it. So let me go ahead and close this one. Okay, so now let's look more on our altitude production in our tabs. So right here you can notice we can access our function editor by double time clicking or left click edit. You also have a button a little bit on the bottom, so you can click the same way. You can preload it, or if you want, you can press Control and click, which is open as well, function editor for our terrain. So next we have a scale, and by scale removing, you can the effect we will apply, it will scale according to our terrains. So in some cases, if you want bigger effect, you can scale up or down. It's again, it depends on a position of your terrain or how you want that effect, altitude effect, your terrain overall. Also, under this we have our filter, and this is filter will let us how the altitude will affect terrain. So we can say remove this way, a little bit more sharper look. So at this point, you can see we have some effect on altitude right on the higher points, but all medium points, we just remove it. So it's create flat with some sharp lines. Okay, let's go to reset it. Or we can just say, let's increase all of them. So in that case, it will pop up all up on higher altitude. Okay, and let's just create some spiking. So in that case, when we create it, we have it which level lower altitudes. Now it's high because we apply them here. Next, we drop all medium down. So, and higher altitude again, we can preview them. Okay, so this is just apply some change to the filter. You don't need to do that dramatically. Most time you just need it touch up, maybe just slightly, increase effect of the filter. Just little changing will apply not that dramatically to your terrain. Okay, next what we have it is mapping mode. It is how the our altitude function will apply to terrain according to the object parametric, or the world and world parametric. In most cases you want to keep it to object parametric mapping. And this is coordinate system. It's the same as in material editor coordinate system. So if you have a little bit more questions, we have other tutorials about Vue, discovering Vue, where we explain a little bit more how those different mapping mode works. The fast shadows will using algorithm to create shadows when render terrains. Um, in most cases, they work very well, except if in sometimes you see blocking or effect on distance, you want to uncheck this option, fast shadows. Okay, the force extension, what's happening in a terrain, you have a different type set of the altitude and sets that function is evaluating against. To force extension, you can set them manually. It's with the term lower, higher, but in most cases it's recommend just leave unchecked, because um, when you start working with fractals, with terrain fractal and other ones, they actually fine-tuned so well, and using this, it will affect the clipping or some high altitudes and maybe some more unpredictable effects. So I recommend just be sure you unchecked, keeping unchecked this option, unless um, you know what actually you're doing and more experience with that. Okay, next we have our quality boost, and this is will affect with what precision the terrain will be when it's rendered, how when evaluation will going with functions, how precise it will do. Um, if you have a terrain and it's very visible, doesn't have any ecosystem, and you want showing how mountains are very close up, you can boost up the probably quality a little bit higher. But again, it's normal if you set like on 9 or 0, it does very good job for this. Okay, so let's look on infinity terrain in our next tutorial.